Welcome to the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And coach, the Tigers opened up the season finally this week with a tough loss to Hopkins and then a big win over Navy. Let's start with the Hopkins game, a game that you led for much of it, and it was weird because at the end of the first quarter it was tied, at the end of the second quarter it was tied, at the end of the third quarter it was tied. You look at the stats, they're almost all dead even. The only difference was Hopkins had 2 goals in the fourth, and your offense was unable to score in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, lacrosse games can't end in a tie. So now we played, well in most parts, kind of on both ends of the field. It was the middle part of the field that I think really was our demise. Few mishaps in the clearing game provided some unsettled opportunities for them. And then, that fourth quarter, we went dry, had some nice opportunities offensively, couldn't put it in the back of the net. They got a couple late in the game, and were able to walk away with a win.
Were they doing anything different defensively in that fourth quarter than they had been doing the first 3?
No, we just still generated good opportunities, good shots, just didn't get them on cage or goalie made a save. Again, mechanically we're a little off. We were dropping our hands, not getting good overhand releases in, and missed good chances.
You shot less than 50% shots on goal, and Joaquin Villagomez, who had missed all of last year, comes back against Hopkins in his first game and was 0 for 12. Do you think he was maybe overly excited, trying to press a little too much, maybe first game jitters?
Yeah, you could feel that he was definitely pressing. I mean, some of the shots were justified and good opportunities, just goalie save or he sprayed it. But a couple of them as well, he forced them. Just forced a couple shots, easy saves, easy transition to a team that likes to push transition. So, we needed him to try to play a little bit more composed. But after missing a full year, and he's got a lot of expectations on himself and within this team, it's not surprising. But again, it didn't help us.
All right, then on Saturday you make your home opener against the Naval Academy, a team that beat you down in Annapolis last year, and far and away the story of the day was your goalkeeper Matt Nyland, 18 saves in the ball game, just I believe his 4th start. So quite an impressive day for the young man.
Yeah, very excited for Matt. One of those other starts was against Navy last year. So I think that maybe had a little bit to it. He and I met. He wanted to meet after last year's game against Navy, just talk through some stuff. So Matt's a guy that cares deeply. He wants to get better. And for him to have, obviously, our starting role and then another opportunity to play against Navy, I don't know if that played into it a ton, but he was seeing the ball great, and it really helped us. We, again, had some clearing issues, and, he, I think, frustrated them offensively because they were getting some okay looks, and he closed the door on them.
The other guy that is developing here in the first 2 games is Kai Lopez, who has now taken over as your main face-off man, and he's had a very good run these first 2 games.
Yeah, we were excited with Kai, last year backing up Matt and his progression as a freshman. Now with him taking, the lion's share of facing off and what we saw out of him out of the fall, he's starting to, I think, get his feet underneath him. He did a really good job against Hayashi, who's a really tough matchup. Non-traditional, but just makes you earn it, and was able to get out and get us a fast break assist, a fast break goal off of the face-off. He's able to generate offense for us, and not just at the face-off X for fast breaks, but also just possession time, and he's been doing a good job.
And he's got 3 goals in the first 2 games, so I mean he is adding a dimension that you haven't had.
Yeah, no, Matt was able to get us some of that stuff in the past. Kai's very capable of doing that. Miles is very capable of doing that. Austin's a different guy. He's going to be a little bit more controlled. But we like that our face-off guys have the ability to play with the ball and then be able to generate some opportunities for us.
And the other thing is Joaquin Villagomez bounces back. He has a hat trick in the second game, so those first game jitters now gone, and he settled in on Saturday.
I like 3 for 5, much better than 0 for 12.
I would say so. All right, this week you take on St. Joe's up in Philadelphia Friday night. They are a team that lost to Syracuse pretty handily, but then bounced back and they beat Villanova, who had just beaten Penn State. St. Joe's brand new head coach in Scott Meehan, who has been an assistant there. Have they changed their system much with him taking over as the head man, even though he's been around for about 8 years?
Not too much. They jumped all over Villanova, 8-1 in the first quarter. Did a good job facing off. Offensively was able to do some good things. Obviously, scoring 8 goals in a quarter. They still run a 10-man ride, so their identity is still that what we've seen in the past, knowing that Coach Meehan was a part of that, continuing to instill that. They're a tough team. They got big physical guys, both offensively and defensively, long, rangy guys on the defensive end, big, powerful Dodgers on the offensive end, some skilled Canadians, in there. So their identity continues to stay pretty consistent, so it's going to be a good battle.
Now, are they a team that wants to go up and down the field, or they want to control the tempo?
They will. They definitely will. They like to utilize that a little bit more in their 10-man ride, but they'll push out of the face-off area. They'll push from the defensive end to the offensive end for sure if those opportunities present.
All right, so the Tigers will take on St. Joe's Friday, 5 o'clock up in Philadelphia. For the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikis. We thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.